This is Matt Funge of ExpoBooth, and he's going to tell us a little bit about his product. And it's super interesting using AI to design those creative trade show booths for those experiential experiences, making attendees have more fun and be more engaged at trade shows. So Matt, what problem in the events industry does ExpoBooth solve?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. So that is exactly what we are looking to solve, the issue of kind of the time it takes for the creative process and how to visualize expo booths, trade show booths. Both myself and Paul, my co-founder, we come from a background within event agencies or booth build companies. And we have experienced firsthand, both myself on the operational side as a project manager, but him on the creative side as an exhibit designer. We've experienced that same bottleneck where a brief comes in and it can take hours, days, even weeks when it's really busy to actually turn around 3D renders to your client to get some feedback and to actually bring that creative brief to life. And what we're trying to do is we're trying to use AI responsibly and appropriately for a professional use case within our industry, which differentiates itself from kind of generic tools that people have maybe played around with and had mixed results, I think it's probably fair to say. And we're really focusing on funneling both myself and Paul's combined 30 years of experience within the industry into specifically training a model in a way that no other model in the world will be trained, so that it understands the nuances, the intricacies, and everything that goes into that conceptualization process when creating a design from a creative brief. And basically what we can do and what we've managed to do is to take that down, as I said, from hours or days to literally 30 seconds or less. And we don't feel that we're detracting from the quality. The visuals are still photorealistic. They understand flow of traffic, they understand sight lines, regulations, because we trained it in that way. So it's a huge time saver, which ultimately is a cost saver then to the companies who use the service.
Yes, well, we're all too busy, so this is a huge time savings. Now, you touched on it a little bit, but I just wanted to ask, I think a lot of viewers might think, well, how is this better than generic AI tools?
Yeah, and it's a question that we get a lot, and completely understandably so. But our response to that is exactly what I kind of touched upon a minute ago, that the generic AI tools, they are the backbone of what AI is built upon, and people use them, the likes of ChatGPT, Gemini, etc., even Midjourney for kind of more visual use cases like ours. But they are exactly that. They're generic. They are AI at a very, very global scale, very top level. They know a little bit about everything, but not a lot about anything, is my way of saying it. And the difference is that we are tapping into the power of it, and we are making our model know everything about our particular industry, which means that the outputs are far more relevant, far more suitable, far more usable than some of the designs that even I've created myself on the generic tools. You know, they look great as an image at first glance, but then if you know the industry, you very quickly start to see, actually, no, that's not right. That height isn't right. That proportion is not right. And then if you try and edit anything, the whole thing changes. Whereas that's another thing I'll get onto in a minute, that we can edit designs whilst keeping absolute consistency of everything else.
That's good. Yes, I've used AI tools for other things. I know exactly what you mean. When you edit one thing, sometimes it comes back with a completely different idea or design. And it's like, no, that's not what I wanted to do.
And then to try and backtrack that and get back to where you were previously is almost impossible.
Yes, right. Okay, that's wonderful. So I think viewers can think of this as kind of a combination of the best of human experts with the efficiency of AI. Is that right?
Absolutely, and it's as if you've been reading our marketing, because that is exactly how we're positioning it. You know, it's AI that is powered by AI but guided by humans, and humans who know the industry, people from within the industry who know actually what the end goal is of producing 3D renders and videos, and make sure therefore through the human layer of quality control and sense checking that actually what we're delivering at the other end is actually meeting the requirements of that creative brief in a comparable way that a human would, but obviously just a lot faster.
Okay, well, let's get into it then. I'm going to put on the screen share.
So yeah, this is our website. As we've touched upon, we are accelerating the creative design process at the conceptual stage by AI. We currently operate as an agency, so like a managed service where we process the projects and deliver them back to our clients. However, as you'll see from the website here, we are a matter of weeks away from a self-serve web app version of it, which our users around the world 24/7 can access on demand. So that's really exciting. Everything I'm going to show you as part of this demo right now is going to be an explanation of the inputs, the briefs, and then what our outputs are to exemplify what it is that we do. And as I say, this is all kind of a managed service behind the scenes. So to begin with, we operate with a variety of different creative briefs. So we know that creative briefs from clients can come in the shape of this that you see on screen, or they can come as mood boards, they can come as visual imagery, a combination of everything. So our system actually can interpret and can use any type of creative brief. I've chosen this one as a demo because it's quite a detailed one and it incorporates kind of text notes, and then if you scroll further down, it comes up with kind of brand guidelines, and then at the bottom there's a little bit of a mood board for the aesthetic. So this is a project that we worked on for one of our early clients, and we took this, we processed it on our system, and within less than a minute, we generated 6 different concepts based on this brief that were all taking into account the content of that brief. So within 30 to 45 seconds, let's say, we generated these 6 concepts, which, sorry, I'll go the other way. This one, these 6 concepts that are all very clearly based on the same brief, but all very different at the same time. So it's different interpretations of that brief. So that brainstorming process, that creative ideation process that can typically take an in-house design team hours to do, was done in less than a minute. And there are very, very clear directions where you can then review them. There's still that human element where you have to review what's good, what's not good, what do we like, what do we not like. But that time saving already at this stage, which is only stage 1, is absolutely huge. The process then was that we sent these back to our client. We said, hey, look, thanks for the brief. Here's 6 different concepts. They evaluated them, and within half an hour or an hour, they came back to us with some feedback, which was in the shape of this document that they prepared for us. So they picked out, a couple of the different options that they liked. They annotated it, said, hey, use this counter. We like this. We don't like that. They referenced the mood board, as you can see here. And then what we did, we took this page that you're seeing on screen right now, and we processed it back through our system to create a final version that incorporated all of this feedback whilst retaining the original look and feel of the concepts that we had prepared. So we processed this again, another 30 to 45 seconds. And what we came up with was this final kind of concept, final version, which again, very, very similar to the overall look and feel, but also noticeably different in terms of it's taken into account all of the feedback. So what we did with this, we didn't only produce these 3D renders, but if I scroll a little bit further, we actually produced this video as well for them. So really brought it to life in a 3D video. Again, this video took less than a minute to generate, whereas again, a videographer, an in-house designer would take hours to do this. So we delivered back to them in 1 hour the final 3D renders plus this video, and they could just send that to their client. And basically the end result of this was that from brief to project being signed off was the same day. Which
Unbelievable.
my experience is pretty much unheard of.
That's unheard of.
Yeah.
I have another question. How do we make sure that what AI produces is actually doable in the real world by human construction?
Yeah, so there's 2 answers to that. So basically, as part of our training and our ongoing training of the model, we are feeding various different feasibility examples to the AI engine, so it understands, what's possible, what's within the realms of physics and within the realms of gravity. It also, as I alluded to previously, understands the regulations. So it's not going to suddenly say that you can hang this huge hanging sign that's over the weight limit from the ceiling, because it understands the parameters and the boundaries within the trade show industry as a whole at a general level. And also we've got that layer of human quality control that I mentioned before between myself and Paul. So before our clients receive anything back, it's already been through a human layer of sense checking so that we can identify and we can amend before the client, our end client, sees it, that any issues like that, any feasibility issues have been ironed out and resolved already.
Wow, that's wonderful. Are there other features that you want to discuss?
Yeah, absolutely, yes.
On the horizon, you mentioned that there's self-serve coming.
Yes, yeah. So it's not only kind of the initial renders that we can generate, but as you can see on screen right now, we can generate again in 30 seconds or so really high quality close-ups of internal areas of the booth. So if the client says, hey, I really want to see the seating area, you can show them something like this. If they say that, we really want to get a good view of the reception counter, we can do something like this. And each one of these takes a matter of seconds to generate, rather than your human designer having to log into CAD software, render it, that depending on the machine they're using can take, minutes, hours, whatever. Similarly, we've got close-ups of the logo as well, just to show kind of the high quality and how it really is genuinely photorealistic quality that is certainly comparable, if not slightly better than what typical rendering software can come up with. We have an editing functionality, as I mentioned in my introduction. So this is really good for when you send the initial concepts to your client and they come back and say, hey, love it, but we want X, Y, and Z changed. Typically, that would be a few hours turnaround for someone, again, to log into their software, make the changes, re-render it. Whereas what we do, we can do it in a matter of seconds. So this is just a very quick example to show that we ask the AI engine to change the texture of the walls and leave everything else the same. And you can see that the consistency of everything else that I mentioned again in my introduction is kept the same, and it only changes what we ask it to. And that took about, I'm sorry, I'm not sharing the screen. This is the video that I was referencing. So we can see that you have this booth, and then we have the slider, and it shows that only the element that we asked it to change has changed, and everything else has been kept exactly the same.
That's unbelievable. Wow. Now, for international clients, it keeps track of the different regulations. Is that right?
It does. We train it. So at the moment, we have a version of it that is trained at EU level on regulations. We have a version of it that we're training on US regulations. But as and when we get projects from our clients, and let's say it's in Thailand, for instance, we would then train a specific model. As part of processing that project, we will train a specific model on the local regulations typical in Thailand, and it would therefore take that into account when it's generating the designs.
Got it. Okay. I am just so impressed. This is going to be a big time saver, as you said, and help our industry, which, everybody knows event planners are overworked.
Yeah, absolutely. And that is exactly what we're trying to solve. As I said, myself and Paul have been in amongst it. We've seen it firsthand, and we're trying to provide a tool that can alleviate that, which is using AI to our advantage, but whilst keeping that level of quality the same as it currently is with humans doing those jobs.
Wonderful. How can people get in touch with you if they want more information?
Yeah, so we have the contact details on the website. The website has the email contact, which is how we're operating currently. So that's hello@expobooth.ai. We will be launching a direct link from the website to the web app when it goes live in a matter of weeks. You can also follow us on LinkedIn as well. We're very active on LinkedIn, and we're constantly posting about our updates and developments on there. So that's a good place to kind of keep up to date with everything that we're doing and everything that we're working on.
Great. Matt, I want to thank you. This has been wonderful. It's exciting.
No, thank you. Thank you very much. I'm pleased that you find it interesting.
Yes, thanks.